Are you tired of waiting for the spring context to start every time you run your integration tests? It can feel like an eternity, especially when you're just trying to check a small change. If this sounds familiar, stick around because today we're going to explore how to keep the spring context running after your tests end. I completely understand your frustration. Waiting 2 minutes for the spring context to start can really slow down your workflow. You're definitely not alone in this. Many developers face the same issue. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked if there is a way to keep the spring context running after the tests end, so they don't have to wait each time they make a minimal change. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this together. So why does this happen? Each time you run your tests, the spring context needs to initialize, which can be time-consuming. Understanding this process is key to finding a solution that works for you. And don't go anywhere. I have a fantastic tip at the end that will help you speed up your testing process even more. To keep the spring context running after the test suite ends, the user should first enable the Spring Test Context Framework. This allows the context to be reused across tests. Next, the user should configure their test classes to use the same context. This can be done by using the @dirty's context annotation sparingly, as it will reload the context. Now, the user can run their tests in a way that keeps the context alive. They should consider using Junit 5 with the Spring extension, which supports context caching. Finally, the user should run their tests in a single test suite. This way, the Spring context will remain loaded for all tests within that suite, reducing startup time. Fun fact, did you know that the Spring framework was created in 2003? It has evolved so much since then, but the need for speed and testing remains a top priority for developers. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution involves creating a Spring Boot application specifically for tests. This application should mirror the main application's configurations. First, define a test application class with the same package scanning as the main app. Next, create a thin Spring Boot application that publishes the test application as a bean. This loader application should minimize Spring configurations to speed up the context loading. Finally, add your standard Spring Boot test class, which should run quickly if the loader is properly configured. This setup can significantly reduce the time spent waiting for the Spring context to load. However, this approach requires careful management of the codebase to avoid unwanted beans and complications with environments and shared resources. A sample project is available for reference. Here's the tip I promised. Consider using a continuous testing tool that can automatically run your tests as you code. This can help keep your Spring context alive and reduce wait times significantly. And there you have it. With these strategies, you should be able to keep your Spring context running and save valuable time during your testing process. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button for more tips, and don't forget to check out our next video for even more insights.